Okay, frame 9. Yeah, so first of all, we're going to open up this Adidas shoe isolated composition that we used for the app mockup. Now you can see how it still has an animation of the shoe color changing. And so if you look at the spot, you can see how
Be modern. Get Chroma today.
all the colors are switching through like
Chroma
that.
today.
So we're going to have to actually duplicate the composition
Chroma today.
of that shoe and make it its own thing for just the end card, or for just this storyboard frame.
Modern. Get Chroma today.
I'm also going to show you after that these light leak flashes. Super cool trick. Just always good to have in the toolbox.
Modern. Get Chroma today.
And I'll show you that part too. It's right here, the light leaks that I bought years ago, and they're now yours on the house. You're welcome. Okay, so because this composition, if I hit tab, it actually shows that it's connected inside the mobile app mockup composition, which is inside, Chroma frame 2 and 3. So if we are going to make any changes to this composition, it would actually change the stuff that's happening inside the app and inside frame 2-3. So we want to duplicate this composition inside the project pane right here and use that one for frame 9. So if we go back to the project pane, this is the composition. We just hit Command D right there, and now it's duplicated. I'm just going to call it frame 9 so that we don't get confused, and then bring that into the composition. There we go. We don't have to match it up perfectly. It's going to be a placeholder anyway. But now we have our own frame 9 Chroma shoe isolated composition just for this one. And the text itself, again, we got to make sure that it's got that switch turned on. There we go. So I want to have the shoe and the text start from the middle and move to the, start from here and then just move like this. Just a really subtle, easy move. And so I'm going to start with the shoe with the position right here. So this is actually going to be the beginning, and have it move to the side like this. And the Chroma text, same thing. That's actually going to be the beginning, and then something like that. It's a little bit too big. Just scale it down a little bit. Bring it out some more, like that. I like having the little bit of touching overlap right here. And just because, have some scale as well. Something like that. Okay, and then the next step. Graph editor, like that. Same as the scale. Now if I shift select both, you can see how they match up. You might want to have it like this. Maybe. That's okay. Okay, position, same thing. Now inside this, make sure that this, just delete that opacity. for that layer. Okay, so like in the spot, you can see it's just cycling through colors. Each section of the shoe that can be
Chroma
customized. So all that really is it's a hue and saturation effect added to each layer, and then just keyframing the hue, cycling through different colors, and then offsetting that cycle for each of these layers. So they're always changing in different colors, but they're always changing. So first thing you want to do is go to Effects and Presets, just type in Hue for hue and saturation. Drag it onto this first layer, Heal Color ISO. Now you can see in the effect controls what that is. And see, while you can't keyframe the master hue changing, what you can do is keyframe this channel range right here. So if I go to that layer, hit U, I see the channel range keyframe. See, now this composition is way too long. It doesn't need to be that long. It doesn't even need to be 5 seconds, but we can just make it a 5-second long composition right now, as opposed to a 30-second composition. Like that. Shift Command X. There we go. Okay. So the channel range actually handles all of these: master hue, saturation, and lightness, but all we need is the hue to change. So if I move the playhead to the end and then start to drag, you can see a keyframe gets added. So it just depends on how fast you want it to change. That's not very fast. So just keep twisting this, and you can see how it starts to, as rotations complete, it goes from 1 to 2 and everything like that. So showing you the different rotations, hue as a value of rotation. There we go. So now what I can do is I can just select this hue saturation effect and shift select the channel range, and then just Command C to copy and then put it on the next layer. And the next layer, and the next layer. Trippy. We're just copying and pasting this channel range animation, but because the hues are different for each of those layers, it starts in a different place, and then so it looks like they're all changing separately. There we go. Come back out here. Oh, not that. You know, we could add liquid gradient background to this text, but you know how to do that. Boom. So now, if we go back out to the master composition, we have frame 9. This is where we want to do those light leak transitions. See, look. Yeah, these little light flashes in between this one.
Get Chroma today.
And that one. Just want to make sure that we have light leak flashes in between the in and the out of frame 9. But we can't do it in this composition because it has to overlap between frame 8 and frame 9, and then frame 9 and frame 10. So we have to do it in the master composition. This is again why it's nice to have a master comp to kind of do, you know, meta effects across all the other frames, and not have them all stuck inside, not have everything happen inside each composition. So now we're in the master comp. This light leaks folder right here is what I'm talking about. Now if you just open up that folder and start to look at some of these clips, just really nice abstract light leaks. Very organic, handmade, cage-free. So it's really just up to you which one you want to pick. This one I think this one was what I used to transition to the frame 10, which I liked a lot. I like these with the sharp details. Oh, this one's nice with the color. Yeah, I'll do this one. This is a good introduction to compositing in After Effects, which operates similarly to how you would do it in Photoshop or Illustrator. If I just drag this layer into the master comp, I'm going to move it like this actually. Yeah, so right here is where we're going to be transitioning with that light leak. If I turn it on, you can see there's no alpha channel for this, so it has to be composited, which means we have to change the transfer mode to this. But first of all, it's actually a 2K, I think, or a 4K video, so just scale it down to be 1080. And then we should just add in this transfer mode where it's set to normal, just add it, make it add as opposed to normal. And just like in Photoshop, we can composite images on top of itself by these different transfer modes. Let me just place this right here. So one thing I was doing too with these is I right click and use the transform, or sorry, enable time remapping on these, and you can see how there's two keyframes now at the in and the out point of this clip. I'm just going to move them close together and speed this clip up. That's not bad. Could be even faster maybe. There we go. Here's one more trick. I mean, I wish it would flash more. I wish there was more to it, you know? And I know I can pick another one if I want, but this is a good opportunity to show you another trick that I like to use for stuff like this when we're kind of flashing between shots. If I go to Layer, New, Adjustment Layer. Now, if you're familiar with Photoshop, it's the same kind of process where you can put effects on this layer and it'll affect the layers below it. Not the ones up here, but the ones below it. So what I'm going to do is actually just make it a really short layer like this. Go to Effects and type in Exposure. So what I'm going to do is, if I lift this exposure up, you can see how it starts to really flash, like really flare out. So we could fake this kind of light leak being really crazy by just adding an exposure effect to an adjustment layer right above this. Now this is obviously too long. It can be really quick, just like one or two frames right as the transition happens. There we go. That's nice. This could actually be a little bit longer too. This could kind of linger into that. Yeah, like that. Yeah, this is a nice little trick I use a lot. Just 2 or 3 or 4 frames of high exposure adjustment layer just to add more to that transition. There we go. That part's done, and then now one more transition to get out of this into the end card. That's what I used before. This is nice. Yeah, I'll do this one. Okay, so drag this in. Scale it down. And then you can see it's like pretty long. Super long. Cool. Make this add. And just make sure I move that layer to be the brightest part, to be right at that cut point. That's it. That's frame 9. Next up is frame 10.